Alright guys, welcome to the very final week of the chemistry content. And what we're going to be doing in this week is we're going to be looking at all of the organic chemistry that we've learned, but applying it to the actual reactions that you're going to be asked. So everything you're going to be doing today is going to be putting together everything you've done last week. So you're going to have to come to terms with it quite quickly. The way the booklet's broken down is by grouping the types of reactions you're going to come across. And again, a bit like how we did with section D a couple of weeks ago, I'm going to show you the rules of what we need and how to apply those rules to these reactions. So when you're asked a question, you hopefully have a process of how to get to that. Now, the first reaction we're going to start off with is arguably the easiest set. And these are going to be with alkenes. So that's anything with a double bond. And we're going to be reacting that with either hydrogen, halogens, hydrogen halides, so that's like HCl, HBr, and steam, which is just water. Thankfully, they all have very, very similar processes. So once you understand that you have an alkene, you can basically come to terms with what the product might look like. I'm going to talk you through one or two of them here. And then I'm going to show you a couple of examples of how to actually do the questions, and then I'm going to keep going through it in that pattern. If you take a look ahead, you'll see that the next series of questions are all structured in the same way, where I'll show you what the reaction is. I'm going to tell you very briefly about it, and then we're going to go through a couple of examples together. And hopefully by the end of it, you should have some idea of how to do these things. It's not easy, but we will need to practice this. So the first one we're going to be looking at are addition reactions. Now, if you remember from the video before, or it's a week before, I guess, we're looking at addition reactions being 100% atom economy. So the only thing we make is just the product we're interested in. And you can see here with this alkene, we've added hydrogen to it, and they're added here. We've tried to color code it so you can see it, and I'll color code it when I'm drawing it as well for you. And they're adding around the double bond. So one of the hydrogen adds here, and the other one will add here. And that's what we see in our product. You can see the same with bromine. You can see the same with HBr. See that there and there. And with water, we're going to break water up into H and OH. And we're going to add it there. It's like H and OH. As far as you need to know, that's it. So let's actually have a go at one of the questions and let's see what we're doing. For each of the questions, I've tried to do something like this, where in purple, I want to show you how to do it. And then in red, I want you to have a go. By the time you get to the end of the questions, you should be able to do everything that I've done in the previous steps. But the red bit, I do want you to have a go at yourself. So the first part, it says, using the following reactions, complete the balanced equation using displayed or skeletal. So that's drawing all the bonds or drawing the lines. And write a balanced equation using the molecular formula, which is the bit here in red that I'd like you guys to do. So we've got an addition reaction, and I know it is an addition because we have an alkene and we have a halogen. So they're the main conditions. And in blue, I've tried to highlight the things you should be looking for to know what the answer is going to be. So with an addition reaction, we've got an alkene. What we're going to do is we're going to add iodine, and I've got two of them. If it lets me circle it. And I've got two of them, and I'm going to add them, one on each of those carbons. I've got a 3-carbon chain, so I've got a propane. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and 3. And I'm going to do displayed so you can see it a little bit more clearly. I'm going to draw all my bonds around that carbon. Remember that double bond has now been broken because it's an addition reaction. And if you're interested in the theory of what actually happened, I can show you that in class. But for now, for the videos, I just want to give you guys the straightforward answer. Double bond's broken. I'm going to add iodine to each carbon in that double bond. So the first one here, and one here. The rest are just hydrogens. So we're just going to add those hydrogens in just like that. And then the molecular formula is going to show that it's balanced. What I would like you to do for the molecular formula is write the molecular formula for our propene, for our iodine, and then to make our product. And that'll give you the molecular formula. If you're unsure how to do that, I'm going to show you what I mean by this example here. So question number 2. Question number 2, I've got an alkene again. I've got a double bond. It's butene, so I've got 4 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's butene because it's on the second carbon. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you guys add the HCl to this double bond over here. When I'm talking about the molecular formula, what I would like you to do is to write the carbons, the hydrogens, and so on and so forth. This is butene. So that means that this is an alkene, which means it has the general formula CnH2n, so double it. Double bond means double it. So I've got C4H8 plus HCl. The product is what you're going to draw, and then you're going to write the molecular formula for that product as well. And then lastly, you can see here, I've got a cyclic molecule, but this has got a double bond right here. I'd like you to add the hydrogens to that, and then I'd like you to write the molecular formula for that. Remember, we're counting the number of carbons and hydrogens. Double check it for this one, because it's not straightforward for this guy. And then once you've got that, make sure you're doing the same for your product. And that's alkene additions. The next one I'm going to look at is going to be alkane substitutions. These kind of come in pairs where an alkene can react with a halogen, and we have an alkene that can also react with halogen. In alkenes, we add them. In alkanes, we swap them, and that's a substitution. You can see the information here, but I'm not going to read it to you. I'm just going to show you what that might look like. So you can see with methane, I've got CH4 plus Cl2, chlorine gas, and I'm going to put UV light here. This is the important bit. I'm going to keep trying to add so that you guys don't forget this. And then I'm going to make methyl chloride and HCl, or chloromethane. For the reactions, I want to show you how to do the products. So let's start off straight away. The bit in blue, that's going to be UV light. And I want you guys to write this every time you see an alkane with some form of halogen. So it's just going to be UV light straight away, and I just want you to remember that. Now, it's a substitution. What I mean by that is, if you look at the example I gave above, this H has been swapped with this C. If we swap them around, if I'm being more precise, this H has been swapped with that Cl. If we swap them around, this becomes a Cl, this becomes a H, and that's my product. That's it. Substitution is just swapping them. It's as simple as that. So let's draw you the first product. You can see I've got a methane and I've got a Br2. I'm just going to swap the H with the Br. So I've got C, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Br goes here, and the rest of the hydrogens. Simple as that. The product, this Br2, has now lost the Br but gained a hydrogen. So that's going to be, let's do it in red so you can be a bit more consistent. H, Br. And there's my answer. What I would like you to do is write the molecular formula for that, double check your hydrogens, and make sure it balances. The next one, you can see again, I got the bit in blue, that's going to be UV light, but the bit in purple, I would like you guys to write the molecular formula and write the product. I kept this one quite simple, so I'm going to keep this simple too. I've got CH4 plus I2. There's the line, I'm going to add UV light. Most exam questions won't ask you to do it unless they leave a box. I just want to add it so you don't forget it. And then it's going to produce my product, which you guys are going to write. Remember, there are two products because it's a substitution. Third and finally, you can see here, we've got the same thing, but we've got a larger molecule, we've got propane. So I'm going to zoom out. I'm going to give you guys some time to do this. But really straightforward, just addition and substitution.